Welcome back to Tailgate Sports Media Podcast, the premier podcast for sports, mostly football, and the most important part about sports, the tailgate. I'm Peyton. That's Devin. We're back. Yeah, talking about college football first. The senior Pro Bowl esque games, whatever.
Senior Bowl?
Senior Bowl. Well, they're not all. There's like the Shrine. There's like three of them now. Like East West game. There's the the Senior Bowl, obviously, and then there's one more, I think. It's like the Hula Bowl or something. But regardless, yeah, I guess the crazy thing coming out of that is there's been some, well, not some. Diego Pavia comes in at 5'9", almost 5'8" or 5'10", but 5'9" and 7/8", which is a whole 3 inches shorter than he was listed as for the roster. That being said, he has done well in the Senior Bowl. Good throws, making good decisions, things like that. Players like Jaden Ott for Oklahoma, who played very little, has looked really good. Um, what's his name? Rodriguez, the middle linebacker from Texas Tech, has actually looked really good. That dude looks like all that he looked like in season. Same player. Yeah, so the Shrine Bowl, I haven't seen a lot of news out of there. There's some wide receiver that I was watching. Uh, he was doing really well. I have no clue where he's from. He was wearing like number 85, but he was winning a lot of reps. Yeah, excited to watch those if I do watch them. I might not even watch them. I'll probably watch the highlights, but those games are exciting. It means draft season is around the corner. So I just thought we'd touch base on that. Okay, the next one. Moving on from college football, unless we have something else to talk about, which I don't think.
Well, first of all, I think Diego Pavia is he's a great player, but yeah, he's short for an NFL quarterback. Um, I think he definitely gets drafted. I'm just once you go up that big step, does it transfer as well? Kind of similar to what we saw some of Dylan Gabriel's struggles when everyone he's playing and now is just a beast of an athlete and huge. He still may had good decision making and all that. He just didn't really shine.
Yeah,
Um,
I think
Rodriguez,
huh?
go ahead.
What'd you say?
No, I said go ahead because you were going to say something.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely get on a roster in the NFL. Very least, as long as he doesn't, Johnny Manziel it up, which he was a student at Vanderbilt, so I imagine he's smarter than he acts. Like you would talk to him and hear him talk, and you'd be like, "Oh, this guy's an idiot." But being a student at Vanderbilt leads me to believe he's probably not an idiot, right? Um,
Was he a like confirmed student? He hadn't graduated yet.
I don't know. That's a good point. He might have because he did. Hold on, let's look it up. Did Diego Pavia take classes at Vanderbilt?
He's a 2024 graduate, so I think he finished up at Vandy and then he had a graduate year that he played this year.
Well, he would be an idiot. He did take classes at Vanderbilt and he earned a master's degree in business and management while playing it for Vanderbilt.
Yeah, he's not a moron, that's for sure.
Yeah, can't be a moron going to Vanderbilt. So what I'll say to that is I feel you can. I've met a lot of dumb people that succeeded out of Texas A&M or succeeded at going to Texas A&M, I should say. Um, like passing high school classes isn't that hard. You just got to turn in your paperwork pretty much, and you'll get damn near an A or a B. You know what I mean? And so there were a lot of people that got into A&M that I know, no offense to them, probably were not the smartest people I knew. But you do the work, you get into the school, you know what I mean? And if you can pay for it, that helps a lot too. So that to say that Johnny Manziel wasn't a genius. However, I think Diego Pavia is smarter than a Johnny Manziel type. He'll get a chance on a roster if he's dedicated to it. He'll definitely be on a practice squad for a couple years at least, and maybe he'll shine through. But if not, he can make it to the UFL.
Don't sit there and be a third string quarterback. Come make the UFL great.
And also, the goal for the UFL is to expand to 16 teams.
Mm-hmm.
They want there's quarterbacks. There's 16 quarterbacks that don't start in the NFL that could definitely start. There's 16 low. Like if you're the first or second string quarterback on a roster, obviously you're not going anywhere. The third string quarterback, however, play your cards right. Also, you ball out in the NFL or the UFL, you're the MVP of the UFL. Maybe a little bit more negotiating money to negotiate for a NFL contract. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about there. I guess the only other thing to talk about next would be the UFL, because we're going to say the NFL for last. The UFL, the schedules were released. We've talked about that. We talked about a lot of the teams are making coaching staff hires. The uniforms, the true uniforms, should be being released next week, I believe. I was looking into. There's been a lot of roster changes. So the draft happened. A lot of players have since retired. My guess is the retirement is coming because they got told that they're not making X amount of dollars. They're going to make this amount of money, and they're like, "Fuck that! I'll just retire."
Yeah, I mean, at some point, and I'm assuming these guys just aren't doing football 24/7. I'm sure some of these guys have normal jobs during the career because the UFL doesn't pay insanely great. I think most dudes are making 55, 60 a year,
Which is
which
a
is
living.
nothing. It's a living, but it's not thriving in a lot of
Yeah,
places.
I
I
mean,
know if 60 was my household income, like I would survive. I would not be like, you guys want to go on vacation? It would be like, no, let's just save until something in case something
yeah.
bad happens. It's not a
Well,
lot of people aren't.
the beauty of the UFL was that because it was only 4 months out of the year, it allowed for these players to have other jobs, whether that be in
Exactly.
the coaching sphere, whether that be in some type of business, ad revenues, big YouTube. Like,
I'm sure there's a lot of these guys that like, social media is taken off or even like high school coaching jobs probably pay better for a lot of these guys. And I feel like a high school coaching job is definitely a more like year-round job than than
yeah,
a lot of people would give credit to. So I feel like a lot of these guys are going to go on
and not everywhere
and do.
does spring ball. So this is a spring league. If you can get a job of like high school coaching that where they don't do spring ball, that would be great. And also, these guys are at least pro level minds, right? Like they're probably good enough to play on a professional football field. Maybe not the highest professional football field, but a professional football field. A guy with that much football knowledge, it would be kind of dumb to deprive kids of that because they couldn't be there for 3 months because they're playing in a spring football league.
Right.
Whereas spring football ends in April, typically maybe March, and the season that's only 2 months. You don't need a guy around for 2 months. Some of these guys probably are on coaching staffs as analysts or college staffs as like offensive analysts, things like that. That happens too. Graduate
Mm.
assistants, things like that. But yeah, um, I also think that it might be the old Repoli doing the old thing where he's telling people, hey, listen, you've been here for 3 years. It's time to hang up the hat. There's been some speculation that that might be the case. That Ripley's looking at the older guys saying, like, if they're not big name draws like Jordan Ta'amu or a Hakeem Butler for the Battle Hawks or a Luis Perez or John Trey Kirkland or um, a lot of these receivers, some defensive guys like a Feeney out of the Battlehawks too. Um, then they're not those big name draws. Uh, they're like, hey,
Yeah, which would be terrible for your league, but
yeah. I mean, but
dude,
the other thing about it is like Sal Cannell is a great example of this. Sal Cannell is about to be 27 or 28, I believe, maybe even
say that
older.
again. You're breaking up.
Sal Cannella is a great example of this. He's about to be 28 or 29. He's in his late 20s, right? He's very much closer to the end of his football career than most of the people in the NFL. And this, he's been in the XFL, UFL, USFL pipeline thing for the last 4.5 years, 5 years. And he after this is the first year he won't be on the Renegades because he finally got a futures contract. This is a guy that's older, but he finally got a futures contract to deal with the NFL. The Browns are taking him. He got meaningful snaps with the Browns. And so sometimes it is just about, hey, you know, if you bide your time and you keep playing, you keep at it, you'll eventually get the shot. And if you do get the shot and you break into a roster and you could be on a roster for 3 or 4 years, it's life changing money for like the rest of your life, as long as you're not a, a hooligan with it. But yeah,
Yeah, man, getting on a practice squad for 2, 3 years in a row, you could pay off a house and pay off a couple of cars and
start a
put some money
business,
aside and work
put
a.
some
You could work
money.
a.
Yep.
Yeah, you work a somewhat decent job for 20 years and retire, and you're like, hey man, I'm set. You don't have to go kill yourself
Yeah.
to take care of yourself and your family. So
And you have
yeah, I mean,
networking. Like the networking that the NFL provides you is unreal and will get you jobs
yeah,
that
no
open a
shit.
lot of doors that you had closed. Like, oh, I played for the Green Bay Packers, and then some dude that's from Wisconsin that has a job in the middle of Arizona is like, you played for the Packers, and he'll hire you just because of that. So things like that matter. Yeah, that's about all I really needed to talk about with the UFL. There hasn't been a lot of like crazy changes, a lot of roster changes, but I don't want to really report anything um, yet. Not report, but talk about anything yet, because it's just going to be very, very turbulent for the next couple of weeks. And the big news will be when the jerseys come out and practice starts, and then we'll start kind of talking about that then. But yeah, so we'll move on to the NFL. One game left.
Big game.
Big game. That's not this week, it's next week. So not the coming week, but the following week. So we'll wait for the pick. We're not going to pick the NFL game today. Um,
Do some deep research on it, even though I already made my pick.
yeah, I made my pick right after the game and games last week ended. Um, so yeah, we will save the pick for next week's episode. We'll pick it then.
Mhm.
But just to talk about what happened in the games, um, New England goes to Mile High. They lose or they beat the Broncos 10-7 in a blizzard. Uh, Not a lot of offense, but how could there be? It was a blizzard. The defense for the Broncos was stifling. Um, Sean Payton made some crucial mistakes that in the long run, it hurt the team. If they had kicked the field goal when they went for it on 4th and 1, it would have been a 10-10 game. Maybe not. Maybe even less. And then following that game-winning field goal, right? Like that's not as dire needs as it is there, and there's not as much pressure on it because you're not kicking it to tie it, you're kicking it to win, and it happened. Like it just things could have gone so different if he didn't try and go for it on 4th and 1. Um, I'm not.
I think the best way to put it, instead of saying kicking it to tie, you're kicking it to win, because kicking to win is a high pressure situation, but probably the only other situation is kicking to not lose.
Yeah, kicking to not lose. In my opinion, kicking to not lose. Like if you miss this kick, your team loses is a lot worse than if you miss this kick, we go to overtime.
Hmm.
Right. So that was
Can't
my
can't not 100% sure because never been a kicker on it, but I
yeah.
would think like, hey, if I miss this, I might get another chance. Okay, just do it. Versus if I miss this, I'm going home for the next few months. I can go ahead and book my tickets to Cancun because it's over. Like that's a lot more pressure.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
We
It's
need to get a kicker on and confirm.
yeah. And yeah, I agree. And it's pretty crazy, but I mean that game, like if you know there's a blizzard coming, the storm's coming. Why would you not put as many points, no matter what kind of points they are, on the board now before you know the storm gets there and no offense is going to be very productive? But yeah, overall,
Just real quick, just so I can make my point.
I left my water in an advantageous spot, but I am listening.
Yeah, so they get the score in the second quarter, which I believe was after a turnover.
Mhm.
Yeah, I believe that was after a turn. Basically, your defense is doing its job. Your defense did a fantastic job.
They did
So
their
yeah,
job the whole game.
yeah, go get the points because you know that offense is not 100%. They're not. Your quarterback is out. Your running back is out. You had a receiver go down early. If points are available, get the points. I do believe there was a bunch of missed field goals though.
Yes, there
I think it was.
was, but that kicking in a blizzard is a lot different than kicking without a blizzard.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, that weather turn was pretty drastic.
yes,
Um, I I got a couple buddies actually that are Patriots fans. I have one that's like, I don't give a fuck. We made the Super Bowl. We're gonna get fucking killed, whatever. Another one's like, nah, man, we got this. We can do this for sure. And it's
yeah. It will be
that.
interesting. I don't remember where the Super Bowl is held this year. I think in
It's a
Vegas.
good question. I want to say Tampa Bay, yes.
Oh, Tampa Bay. That's right. It is in Tampa. It is. Oh no, it's in Santa Clara, California.
Oh, no, California. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So listen. Regardless, it proves my point, which is it's hard to judge the Patriots off of their last two games because they played in very inclement weather. So your offense is going to be a little stifled. So their offense could come out and do a little better, right? They're going to be playing with some better weather. So I wouldn't bank on the Patriots offense being as atrocious as it's been. Um, but one thing you can bank on is the Patriots defense is going to be very good, which they are very good. Um, so I don't know. I'm not sold on it being a clear cut favorite in this one. But that brings me to my next point, which is to talk about the Rams and Seahawks game.
Which
And
was a great game.
great game. I do want to say that the debate is over, and it is official that Ohio State is wide receiver U.
I didn't realize there was a debate.
LSU
tries to throw in there, but
LSU fans will really, 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 really hold on to that one. They try really hard, and I get it. I mean, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, great. Malik Neighbors when he's healthy is good. Um, Landry, I don't even remember his his first name. Uh, not the receiver Landry that I can't remember his first name. And then you have Odell. You have another one that I'm missing, but Brian Thomas Jr. Um,
you were
yeah,
thinking of Jarvis Landry.
Jarvis Landry. I knew it started with a J, and I was going to say James Landry. And I was like, that is
All I could think of was Landry Jones.
I almost called him Landry Jones. I did almost call him Landry Jones, but I stopped myself. I was like, that is not. That is the opposite type of person that
Yes.
is Jarvis Landry. Um, and they're good. I think Odell Beckham Jr. is a little overhyped for what he was in the NFL. Very good receiver. Not, but he's not Odell Beckham Jr. isn't a Jamar Chase, and he's not a Justin Jefferson, and he's not a Jackson Smith and Jigba is a monster. And then when you pair him with Cooper Cup, a healthy Cooper Cup, who's also a monster, you start. I mean, that is just a weapon of a bunch of weapons on offense that are almost impossible to deal with by themselves, let alone paired with each other. So it makes sense. I mean, this is one of the most high-powered offenses we've seen, and their defense is good. And we knew their defense was good early on, and their offense would have spurts of being really good and then not so good, and then really good and then not so good, right? And they seem to have caught on and figured it out late in the game, late in the season, and it's carried on into the playoffs, and they can score on anybody. The Rams had a very, very potent offense, but their defense left a little to be desired. You're talking about one of the generational wide receiver matchups. Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua versus Cooper Cup and Jackson Smith and Jigba. So that's like a generational wide receiver talent. Quarterback matchup, you're talking about one. Colin Cowherd called him the next Andrew Luck in Sam Darnold. And you have a classier, more polished Brett Favre in Matthew Stafford. And so I don't think that about Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's very talented, very good quarterback, but I feel like there's a lot of quarterbacks in the league that in the position and that with the team around him that Sam Darnold has would have been very successful. I don't think it's every quarterback in the league. I think it's probably you got a list of like 12 or 15 quarterbacks. But what Sam Darnold does have that really bodes well for him in an offense like this with the weapons he has is he has a cannon. And he can throw it anywhere on the field. And there's probably a select handful plus two maybe that can do what he can do with the football in his hands as far as like how he can throw it, where he can get the ball to. And Sam Darnold is a less athletic Josh Allen, in my opinion, because he has the cannon. And if you get him weapons, he will get the ball to those weapons. If Josh Allen
He's also got a he's also got a great run game to
yes,
complement him,
and a run
which
game
is
that makes safeties have to play the box.
yes. And then when you have two guys that are that dangerous, like not only are you having to play close to the line, but you're also, I mean, when you play it like that, it's so much easier to get burned or torched or spread out when you have two guys like that. So it just really opens up the entire playbook.
And you're talking about a Kubiak offense, a Gary Kubiak branched offense, which is just very multiple, very, very. They go under center a lot, not so much under uh, the son. I think his name's Clint Kubiak, but you're talking about an offense that comes in tight to go out wide and goes out wide to come across, and there it's a lot of different. It's not a West Coast offense. It's got a lot of natural picks and a lot of eye candy that makes you look one way to go the other way and things like that. And so this offense is very when you have an offense and you can run it well with the right personalities, it's a Gary Kubiak system is very hard to defend. So yeah. Um, Gary Kubiak, famously the head coach of the Super Bowl winning Denver Broncos when Peyton Manning, the ghost of Peyton Manning, was playing quarterback for them. But yeah, so honestly, this NFL playoffs has been great. I think the playoffs for both, for the college football and the NFL this year, has been really good. The one that wasn't, or the two that weren't, there was the Seahawks beat the Niners by like 80 points, and then it was, I believe, the Steelers and the Texans, where those games weren't very exciting. But other than that, both of these games this last week were very exciting to watch for different reasons. The weather and defense played in the AFC game was great, and then just the overall execution on offense by both of the Rams and the Seahawks was great. I think the Seahawks had a couple turnovers that really turned the tide for them overall when you look at the box score.
Yeah.
And the better run game. In a better run. But yeah. Anything else though?
Well, there's a little bit of drama to talk about.
Oh yeah. So
One that's not really drama. It's kind of like a why, and then the second one is drama, and it's legit drama. Um, Let me ask you this, Peyton.
okay.
Do you think Andy Reid is a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I mean, well, my question back to you would be, well, who's been a first ballot Hall of Famer, Devin, for coaches? And I know the answer to that.
Please let me know.
There's been 3 head football coaches in the history of pro football that have made the first ballot Hall of Fame. First
Okay.
ballot Hall of Fame. I want you to guess the 3.
Guess the three. Wow. Oh man. Um, Vince Lombardi.
Okay. I'm not going to tell you if they're
Okay.
right or wrong until you guess all of them. All 3.
I honestly I couldn't tell you the other two. I don't know.
So, okay. Well, sure. Okay. So the 3 first ballot Hall of Famers are, the first one is Don Shula, the winningest coach in professional football history. Makes sense.
Or not my forte, but yes, Don Shula makes sense. I love it. Vince Lombardi makes sense. All right.
Vince Lombardi is not one of them. Yeah, so Vince Lombardi is not one of them. The second one is Chuck Noll, 4-time Super Bowl champion. Numbers add up.
Okay.
The third one, you should know this,
Tom Landry.
is Tom Landry. So if you judge the resumes off of those 3 versus Andy Reid's resume, your answer would be yes. But notice a name I didn't say in that list.
What name was it, Peyton?
Well, there's a couple names, but the name, I'm not talking about the one you're talking about. I'm talking about a name that's been retired for a while, but was maybe a head coach for one of the greatest dynasties of all time. Bill Walsh. the inventor of the West Coast offense was not on that list. Jimmy Johnson, for I believe political reasons, obviously was not on that list. And the final one we'll talk about is the GOAT, Bill Belichick.
which is so bizarre.
It is an affront to football. I always say this, and people maybe think I'm a Tom Brady hater because I am a massive Peyton Manning fan. My favorite quarterback in history. That being said, I very much respect Tom Brady. I just like Peyton Manning more. So, the first 3 Super Bowls were not on the back of Tom Brady. They were on the back of a Bill Belichick coached defense that was suffocating, that was sound in every aspect of the game. So you can say what you want about the last 4. And I would give you that Tom Brady became the reason they won Super Bowls and the defense fell off. But in the beginning, Tom Brady was a good quarterback, but he wasn't the dynamite piece that was putting it all together. It was the defense. A lot of different pieces that made a great defense. And what Bill Belichick is known for is defense. But what is important to remember about Bill Belichick, and I think this gets lost, is that he was innovative on the defensive side of the ball. Him and Nick Saban, you might recognize that name, kind of invented the modern match scheme system in which every defense has some form of match, if not runs match predominantly, because it gives you benefits of zone and man coverage that no other defense gives you. And the 2 people that brought their different philosophies together was Bill Belichick and Nick Saban at the Cleveland Browns, and what came from that was the match scheme that is now run at every level. Now, granted, you can run match and not have the same type of shell, which is like a nickel shell or a 3-4 shell or a 4-3 shell, right? So the shells change, but the concept of the match coverage was really like solidified by these 2 individuals. And match is so important to the modern NFL, modern game of football, that it is almost heresy to say that that person, having also won 7, if not 7 Super Bowls as a head coach, more.
He was a defensive coordinator.
Huh?
He was 6 as a head coach.
Uh-huh.
He was a defensive coordinator.
Okay, so 8 Super Bowls, 6 as a head coach. Yeah, it is. Regardless, it's blasphemy to sit there and say, yeah, no, he doesn't belong. And let's be frank, he lost 3 Super Bowls, but he still got to the dance as a head coach. So you're talking about a guy that coached a team to the Super Bowl as a head coach 9 times. I don't know how many he lost as an assistant, as a coordinator, but I think he lost 1 or 2.
Well, put it this way, and it's why football playoffs are so much more intense. Every game in football is so much more intense when it comes to the playoffs because you're only playing one game. There is no redo, there is no rematch. You play one game. So out of 9 Super Bowls, he wins 6 of them in a game where he's playing another very, very good team. a 66% win rate is crazy good.
Yes. You're playing the
It's,
best of the best in that game.
yes, best of the best. You consistently go out and dominate. The 28-3 comeback against the Falcons, that's a hell of a comeback. I mean, that's a team he's coaching. That is, it's hard to win football games in general. Playing great teams to do it 6 out of 9 times is phenomenal.
Winning 6 Super Bowls is so incredible because it's never been done before. None of the coaches I talked about won 6 Super Bowls.
It's the only thing that I can think that because so there's you got 50 voters. I'll
Yes.
go over what I know right now. So you got the 50 voters, you got to get 40 votes yes to get in.
Hmm.
Did not get the 40 votes. Only thing I can think of is maybe there's those couple scandals that they have that are putting them back.
You're talking about Deflategate. You're talking about Spygate. You're talking about things like that.
Yeah. That's the only thing I can think of. They're like, oh no, he was a cheater. First of all, in Deflategate, before that, everybody did stuff with the ball.
It's
Let's like
common, yeah. Now, I will say this about that. It does happen everywhere. The funny part about the private investigation into Deflategate was that they tested the Indianapolis balls, and they also had some balls that were deflated. But the yeah, Deflategate I get,
so
but the problem is Deflategate doesn't give you 40-point victories.
Deflategate, well, it doesn't give you 40-point victories, but also it's like it's not something you can say, oh, well, that's why they were so good because they were cheating with the ball. Everyone was doing it. They were just the team that
They
it finally
got
got reported because the Colts got freaking spanked and got a lucky interception, and they were like, oh, well, it had to have been the ball. No, Spygate I can kind of get.
the other thing with
Spygate's not
Spygate
good
is
enough.
another thing is everyone was doing that too. The Patriots just kept getting caught, but everyone was doing that.
Everyone was trying to catch the Patriots at something because the Patriots were dominating.
Yes. Um,
Um, excluding him from the Hall of Fame first ballot is crazy. The Hall of Fame itself has come out because the Hall of Fame and the voters are two separate things, right?
two separate entities. Yes, the voters there are people that are the Hall of Fame has selected to be voters.
Yes. And the Hall of Fame has basically come out and said if you violate the bylaws, you can be removed as a voter, which kind of sounds like it could potentially just be a thing where they're saying something so everyone will get off their asses about it. In a perfect world that does not exist, they remove some of these voters, they replace them, and they have that vote again because that is ridiculous.
Here's what I'll say: as a football fan, strictly, if you were a voter and you didn't vote Bill Belichick a first ballot Hall of Famer, you should be drawn and quartered in public. What stadium should we use?
Well, you got to do it at the Patriot Stadium.
No. It's got to be at the Hall of Fame Stadium. You will be drawn and quartered in public in Canton, Ohio, for the blasphemy. If football's a religion, this is the closest thing to being sacrilegious as you could possibly be. If football is a religion, this is denying the resurrection of Christ.
Damn.
What they did when they said Bill Belichick, when the 11, presumably more, but at least 11 voters that said no are the no bitches team of the week.
Damn, bringing it back, and you are absolutely correct. Put those 11 guys on a team. You need 11 players. You got at least 11. Put it on a team, no bitches team of the week, and have them play somebody,
And they're old.
preferably the
Here's what I would
Patriots.
do. If this is my perfect scenario. My perfect scenario is those 11 people are now going to be force conscripted, sent to Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, And from there, they will have to, with their fingers, no needles, sew together the golden jacket that is going to be put on Bill Belichick's shoulders.
Damn, that's crazy.
That's the punishment. I'm not the piece of shit that said that did the vote. Hey, actions have consequences. And when
That's true.
you lie to the people, an understanding group of understanding audience, and you boldface lie to them and say he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame first ballot. If he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame first ballot, then nobody ever will deserve it. If he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame first ballot, there I will go through the list of people in the Pro Football Hall of Fame and I will tell you who we need to kick out. Because there's people that probably shouldn't be in there based off of that.
Yeah. There's people that weren't first ballot Hall of Famers that need to go that came in later that need to go ahead and be kicked out because if this guy's not a first rounder, he's a second, third, fourth rounder or fourth ballot. I keep saying rounder, but you know what I mean. Ballot. A lot of you guys got in on some technicalities. It's time to go.
Yeah. I
Return
mean,
your jacket. Return your jacket. Undo the ceremony. You got to do the whole thing backwards.
yeah. And some people
You're
will say, hey, victories isn't what we're looking at. We're looking at like how did you innovate the game of football? There's a lot of things you look at, right? Like quarterback, like for instance, Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl, but he's in the Hall of Fame, right? Super Bowls matter. This is my opinion. Super Bowls matter more for coaches than it does for players. In a resume grand scheme of things, if you look at a player, say he was awesome, he was loyal to the team, he never got the pieces around him he needed, but he was awesome even without those pieces, and he just never won it all. Okay. As a coach, you are solely responsible for that. So the ultimate litmus test for a coach is how many times you win a Super Bowl. If he won once, that's great. You're an all-time coach. Twice, three times, okay. Now we're talking about a Hall of Fame type of coach. If you win a Super Bowl six times, Devin, if you MJ the Super Bowls, it doesn't make sense.
Does that make sense?
All right.
Horrendous.
Now, I think we've talked about that enough. I think our points have been made. What is the second piece of news that I'm not aware of?
Did you see the AFC Pro Bowl quarterbacks?
Shador Sanders.
Shedeur Sanders, replacement for Drake May,
Yeah.
1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, 14 interceptions.
14 interceptions.
I might be misremembering that. Or sorry, I think it was 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, I believe. Let me double check it. 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 57% completions. And most of that came in week 14. A big chunk of that came in week 14. He had one good game, very good game.
Well, let me go through the list of teams. All right. So Bo Nix obviously can't do it.
Nope.
You have Tua, no. Whoever the Jets quarterback was, no. Bo Nix, no. Patrick Mahomes, is he in the Pro Bowl?
He tore his Achilles, so no.
Oh, yeah, good point. Raiders, no. Chargers quarterback, Justin
Justin
Herbert.
Herbert is in,
Lamar Jackson,
not in,
Joe Burrow,
not in,
Aaron Rodgers,
not in,
CJ Stroud,
not in.
who the Colts, no. The what's his name? Trevor Lawrence.
No,
Cam Ward.
no,
Josh Allen?
yes,
So it's Josh Allen, John, Herbert. It's Allen, Herbert, and Sanders. They picked
It was
Sanders.
supposed to be Drake May instead of Hurt Sanders, but Sanders got in over Trevor Lawrence, who went to the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers, who went to the playoffs. CJ Stroud didn't look great. I don't think he should have been the Pro Bowl anyways, but went to the playoffs.
It is Pro Bowl based off of fan votes.
It is there is a player vote that goes with it too. I don't know if it's 100% player vote. I don't remember or if that factors in.
Let's figure that out.
So it's fan, player, and coaches all vote.
You each get a third of the vote, a third of the decision. So it's based off. Okay. What? This has to be a. I just hope he shits the bed. I know
I
that's.
think he's going to look great. He's got the physical skills. It's not like he's going to be
Oh yeah, it's a
the
flag
only
football game,
place
so
I
who
see
cares?
he's going to really like absolutely shit the bed is the flag football game.
Well, even then, it's not going to happen. Because no one cares. It just doesn't make sense, and it has. There's a lot of like Sanders family D riders out there. They just they're bouncing on that thing, dude. They are, and it's like delusion. It is delusion. I mean, he's good. He's good enough to be on an
Yeah.
NFL roster.
Here's the
He's
thing
good
that has
enough
to
to
come out
be.
because I can hear the comment now because we're two white guys saying this, and unfortunately, it's sad that this is a thing. Calling him out isn't bad. He just gets way overhyped by his biggest fans.
To the point where they're like, there's an NFL wide conspiracy that's keeping him from playing with the starters. They'll be like, yeah, clearly the Haslems called in a favor from Israel to change the weather so it'd be a rainy game so he'd have a bad throwing day. It's like so they're like so this is gonna be mean to say, but I'm gonna say it. The Shador Sanders fans have the conspiracy is everywhere trait, the same conspiracy that is everywhere trait as Candace Owens. Not to get you, if you know, you know.
We're
But
gonna lose this podcast so fast. Where fans are dropping by the minute.
well, there's 32 of them, and I hope they don't. But they if you're truly a fan and you watch the episode, this isn't even my hottest take.
It's really not.
That's the thing. Like imagine what I say off. No, I'm joking. But it is insane. And he's okay. I need to preface this because I need to qualify my statement. Does Shador Sanders deserve to be the starting quarterback of the Browns? Yes. Should he have been started earlier than he was? Yes. He is the most talented quarterback in that room. Is Shador Sanders a top 15 quarterback in the league right
No.
now? If I'm wrong about saying no, I hope God strikes me with lightning on my way to work tomorrow. That's how positive I am being right. It is sad that we're in a society where like I can't criticize something because of race, whatever it is. But again, to qualify my statement, I like Shador Sanders. I just hate the D riders that think he's going to be the next Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees combination. In college, Devin, he was good. Was he a world beater? No. Does he hold on to the football too long in college? Absolutely. Does he make bad throws? Yes. Does he have a tendency to throw the ball off platform where he sinks it short? Yes. Is he completely fundamentally mechanically sound? No. You don't have to be, but Shador Sanders doesn't have the natural throwing talent of a, say, Josh Allen, of a, say, Sam Darnold, of a, say, Patrick Mahomes, to where he can make those throws consistently. Of a, say, Matthew Stafford. He is a very good quarterback, and I am sure he will be very good quarterback. I hope for his case he's a very good quarterback in this league for a team other than the Browns.
Yeah, that's the main problem he's got right now. He plays for the Browns.
I hope he goes anywhere but the Jets. Even I would be happier for him if he was on the Raiders. I think the Raiders have the ability to be better than the trash can that they are. I don't think the Browns have the ability to be much better than they are. I hope he finds a team that I would love for him to go to Miami. I think that'd be a great spot. But he he's not better than Trevor Lawrence right now. And is Trevor Lawrence great? No, but he's not better than him. He's definitely not better than Lamar Jackson. He's definitely not better than Joe Burrow.
The comparison: 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Trevor Lawrence threw for over 4,000 yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions.
The
That's a
big one,
positive touchdown ratio.
yeah, the big one is in today's NFL, throwing for more interceptions than you do touchdowns is like absurd. There's no way you can be considered. Jameis Winston has a better touchdown to interception ratio than that, Devin. He's at least going 1 for 1.
And it's like, and it's nothing against him, the person. It is
No,
he
it's
did
the
not have
voter.
the performance.
No,
He did not have the performance to be a Pro Bowler. He has all the physical talent in the world to be a great quarterback, but the mechanics are not there yet.
yeah, I mean, and again, I want
Mechanics
to
and decision
reiterate
making.
this. If you watch the tape, does he have a good arm? Yes. Does he have a great arm? No. Does he make bad decisions more so than you'd like? In college, he got away with it. It didn't kill him.
Yes, that's another thing about college is a lot of you watch some of these highlight reels and it's wide receivers making great plays on toss ups
Yeah,
because
or
he had a very good
getting
wide
schemed
receiving
wide
room. He
open.
was
Here's
throwing
what
to
I
a
will
Heisman.
say about him in college is the scheme was not great. The scheme was kind of piss poor in college. He had a bad scheme, but he would just pat the ball and wait, and he did have a tendency to not be able to throw with anticipation in college.
Yes, and I think
If
that's one of the biggest things that he has right now and that's why Dylan Gabriel got the start. Dylan Gabriel threw with anticipation. Hey, this guy's going to be here at this point. I'm going to throw it
yeah,
there,
now
and he's going to
granted,
be there for them.
Dylan Gabriel would say, "I'm going to throw it here," and then what happened was Dylan Gabriel was trying to throw it there, and the ball would go that way because he has little hands that can't hold onto the football.
Well, also he can't see because the offensive line is and everyone is now 6 inches taller than him on the field, and
Yeah,
that can be hard. Uh, Sugar doesn't have that problem.
yeah,
He's just got to get the timing
and he will.
and the mechanics down. I think he's done a better job about setting his feet. I think
Yes,
it's
he
something he's
has.
actually improved on
In
this
the
year for sure.
NFL, he has gotten a lot better. It still happens sometimes, but it's not something that's going to be changed right away. And I didn't expect it to. I just
Yeah,
don't think he's a Pro Bowl caliber quarter. I'm not saying I would love to have this conversation again a year from now because I think the story will change. I think he will be a lot better.
yeah.
And he's
It-
getting a good
and you
coach
know
in
what?
town.
It's not necessarily his fault
Yeah.
because unfortunately he is a victim of daddy ball. My daddy's the head coach.
Yeah.
It's not going to get corrected as I'm just going to play.
I wouldn't say
Dad
that.
has no say in his coaching now.
Here's what I'll say. I think Deion Sanders is a good head coach. I think his what he sees his role as a head coach is different than what others. He's a lot less in the X's and O's and more about the development of the young men. But the problem is you can't sell lavish, which is this is the problem that the Deion Sanders and not to get into a big Deion Sanders culture and program debate, but hey, Deion Sanders said culture doesn't matter, winning matters. So I would be remiss to say that hey, culture matters a lot, but whatever. I don't know. I've never coached. But also, me and Deion Sanders have won the same amount of conference championships as FBS head coaches. Granted, he has won FCS conference champ. He has won a lot of SWAC conference championships. He's beat me in the SWAC. But that being said, culture matters. And the problem is sells Deion Sanders is kind of an old school recruiter. He sells the lavish part of being a college football player. And then you show up and he's a hard ass. He says, hey, you're going to go to class. Hey, you're not going to talk back to anybody. Hey, you're going to do these things right. And he's really building up young men in a way that a lot of programs don't do today, which is kind of refreshing. If you ever watch any of like the content, because they do a lot of content out of Colorado with Deion and his family. And the way he talks to the kids is it's great. And here's another thing about Deion. Say whatever you want. Great father. Great father. Like, could never say that dude's a bad father. Very present, very active, and all of his kids clearly respect him and care about him. Like, that's something that not every father, especially fathers in those positions, always have. Lane Kiffin. So
Lane Kiffin with his supposedly fake ass dog.
yeah, like Deion Sanders has no fake dogs. Deion Sanders has the modern approach to dogs that Michael Vick does. He just stays away from them. I'm just
All right, this is off the rails. Let's bring it back
but
in. We talked the
but
Pro
yeah,
Bowl. We talked the Hall of Fame.
just to close my thought, no more crazy things to say. He Deion will sell the lavish, but then hardball you when you get there. And the kids nowadays have the option to say, this isn't what I signed up for. I'm out of here. So they leave. And that's okay. Um, Saying that culture doesn't matter is going to get you in between a rock and a hard place, as we saw this year. I hope he turns it around for his sake. But yeah. Again, I wish all the best for Shadur's career. I pray he doesn't stay in Cleveland. I pray he goes somewhere where he will truly be able to shine and be successful. Um, is he a Pro Bowl quarterback today? Technically, yes. Skill level, not quite. I have a feeling he will get there. And maybe in 2 years we'll look back and say, hey, they were just predicting the future.
I'm with you. I got
Okay.
one more NFL thing, and then I'm caught up.
Okay.
Let's talk about the worst franchise that we've already been talking about, the Browns, right? Browns hire offensive coordinator
Todd Monken.
from the Ravens,
Yes.
Todd Monken. He was the offensive coordinator for the Ravens. He was out with Harbaugh. They hire him as the head coach. Apparently, their defensive coordinator, whose name I'm blanking, it's Jim. Jim thought the job was his. Came back to the facility, said goodbye to everybody, and said he was out.
Oh no. Here's the reality of it, and this is what I'll say is this is what we've I mean, this is kind of true with every program this family's involved in, but any franchise this family's been involved in pro sports has just started to tank as soon as they got involved. The Haslems are cancerous to society. The Haslems are okay. This is gonna be you're gonna have to stick with me on this one. You know how in
Oh
Red Dead
boy.
Redemption there's an honor.
Yeah.
So if you were playing a Red Dead Redemption style game where there's an honor system, and you could be low honor or high honor or whatever, this is gonna sound crazy. The Haslems are the low honor. Jimmy Haslam is low honor. Jerry Jones is high honor. Somehow, that's where we're at.
They're so low on the scale.
Yeah, and anyone you talk to that has anything to do with programs that these people get involved in have nothing but bad things to say about them.
Mhm.
That's the crazy part is like nothing but bad. I mean, let's be honest about this. Like Cleveland's never won anything. He apparently is now involved with the Columbus Crew, the MLS team, and he's involved with the Milwaukee Bucks. Um, yeah, I don't know. If it was me, I just would not. I'd never want to play for a team that's owned by a house.
Are the Haslam's the bad guy in Fallout Cleveland?
I would say no because the alternate timelines, but the divergence of timelines. But if it was up to me, here's what I would do with the Haslams. Assassin's Creed, modern America, one of the people I would have as a Templar would be the Haslams.
That's hilarious and accurate.
I think the Haslams and Robert House from
Yeah, because
Fall.
House is trying to own Vegas, right? He's like, this is my own personal little playground. They're trying to get into all the Cleveland sports teams, set up their bases to seize stuff. They got some billionaire money. They're buying billionaire weapons and defenses.
I'm
They're going
trying
to
to think
seize Cleveland when the
of a
world
good
ends.
of a good analogy for the Haslams that doesn't get us sued. Um, yeah, I don't
I think
know.
you already said a lot of stuff today
Huh?
and on previous podcasts. You've said a lot of stuff today already, and you said stuff on previous podcasts. If we're going to get sued,
It's
it's
all
already happened.
satirical. Also, if you sue me, oh, you're gonna sue a U.S. Army soldier? Hmm. Let's see how this plays out for you in the public eye. But then they're just gonna play what I said, and they're gonna be like, "Yep, yep, that's a piece of shit." And I'm
It's
like,
like when I tell people if we're gonna fight, it's a lose-lose situation. If you beat me, you beat up a cripple. If you lose, you lost to a cripple. So it's not even worth fighting me.
"Yeah, it's like me with debates. It's like if you beat me in a debate, I'm handicapped. If I beat you in a debate, I'm handicapped." All right, yeah, it's I like Todd Munkins. I don't mind it, but the whole telling one guy he has the job and going out and hiring another guy is insane.
Well, you just lost. You just lost an elite defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Well, they have Miles
Um,
Garrett, so the next defensive coordinator is also going to be elite.
well, yeah, they got something, but that defense is the only thing they have going for them right now.
Yes, and there will be players that leave in free agency because of that. Just so your
I would
guys, you guys are
honestly,
prepped.
yeah, I would not be surprised if he went somewhere else and they're like, "Hey, that's where I want to go," and he snatches them. Miles Garrett probably devastated right now. Like, why did I sign this deal? I could have got this deal anywhere else.
Yeah, yeah, because they don't have like loyalty bonuses like the NBA does. You can sign whatever you want, wherever you want, and also
Yeah.
what that like. Okay, let's be honest. Like $265 million. Like, do you want to live with $265 million in Cleveland or any of the other cities that you could imagine $265 million in Miami? Or let's say you're more of a relaxed outdoorsman. Imagine $265 million in Nashville, Tennessee.
Another thing to think of is how much of a pay cut would you take from that $265 million for a Super Bowl?
Some people don't care that much about
As
Super
someone
Bowl.
that's as someone that's never sniffed that money and never will, I will never have $265 million. I will always be a poor white. All right. I could easily, if I had an NFL talent right now, I could easily take the team friendliest deal to go play for a Super Bowl contender. I
And
could
why is that,
easily
Devin?
do
And why is that?
because I want the damn Super Bowl, and the money is still going to get me everything that I want.
Because we're gonna start selling t-shirts with this on it. Glory over gold, baby. Glory over gold. Trademark Tailgate Sports Media Podcast.
So yeah, hey, you need to get that one in the fine print pretty quick.
I don't think you can. I don't know if that's a thing that people say, but I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, I think there is a very common. It's a common among poor people too, because clearly for us, We don't care about money.
Yeah.
Glory over gold is a big thing. Some people have it, some people don't. Some people say gold over glory. I say glory over gold. And I'm with you, Devin. I would take a pay cut to win the Super Bowl.
If I woke up tomorrow and I was an NFL, like a starting NFL caliber quarterback, and they're like, "Hey man, we think you're great. We just got to build a roster." I'm like, "Well, like, here, you know what? Let me just look it up. Let me look it up,
If you
and
pay me
I'll throw
15
a
million a
crazy number.
year, if you pay me 15 million a year, that's all I need.
I would be happy for 10. Hey, pay me 10 million a year. Make sure it's guaranteed. I want 10 million guaranteed a year.
Because here's
Make
the other
however much you want a
problem.
signing bonus so it
Yeah.
doesn't hit the cap as hard or whatever you got to do. Build a team around me so I got people to play with."
Yeah, here's the other problem with with what was I gonna say? The other problem, oh yeah. Here's the other problem with getting too much money is, part of you wants your kids to have to work for something. You know what I mean? Like I need my kids to have a little bit of like underdog in 'em. Like I can't let them have a silver spoon, a wooden spoon at best. No spoon is preferred.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay, so yeah, that's I think that sums up the NFL, which brings us to the final topic of the day, Devin.
Okay.
And we're back with tailgate tears. Today is Asian food edition.
Oh, fuck.
Yep, didn't see that one coming. I know you didn't. I tossed around a couple ideas and I stuck with Asian food. All right, Devin, tailgate tier list. To remind everyone, there's three tiers to the tailgate tiers. The lowest tier is Walmart parking lot. The middle tier is classic tailgate, and the fanciest tier is corporate picnic. It is not to say one is better or worse. It is just to say where
It,
you see these fitting into these slots as far as
it's a Venn diagram.
it's a
It's a
Venn
Venn
diagram.
diagram.
There you go. So, Devin,
But with three, not a Venn diagram. It's got the three. I'm not sure what that one's called.
I don't even know what a Venn diagram is, to be honest with you, Devin. Is it like a
It's the two circles
oh, it's the circles with the other okay, yeah.
with the overlapping area. Yeah. So if
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
be like, we're like, oh, it could be this or this. It's in the overlapping area.
Tailgate tier list. Number one, Asian food edition. Number one, pad thai.
Corporate tailgate.
Corporate tailgate. I feel like you're gonna say corporate tailgate
Corporate
every time.
corporate picnic.
Corporate picnic. Okay. Number two, egg rolls.
Classic.
Okay. Number three, fried rice.
Corporate.
Corporate. Okay. Number four, spam masubi. Number five, orange chicken.
Corporate.
Number six,
This is not as exciting as you think it's going to be, buddy.
cup of ramen.
Corporate.
You're so wrong. Number seven, chicken on a stick. Surprisingly, very Korean.
Classic.
Number seven, sushi.
Corporate.
Or number eight, I'm sorry. Number nine, dumplings.
Corporate.
And number 10,
I know what you're going to fucking say, and it's Walmart.
crab rangoons.
Walmart.
All right, Devin. So I'm glad you said all these things. And I would like to start off by saying how terribly wrong you were.
I think you forgot. I want you to go ahead and name your list, and I'm going to tell you what you forgot about tailgates.
Pad Thai is clearly corporate. Egg rolls. Walmart, or egg rolls is classic. Fried rice. Here's the thing with fried rice, Devin. Here's the thing with fried rice. I think fried rice could classify as classic or corporate because it's not that hard to make fried rice.
Okay.
Number four, spam masubi is 100% classic tailgate. Number five, orange chicken, corporate. I understand. Number six, cup of ramen. That's Walmart.
Well, I just heard ramen. You broke up there. Cup of ramen for sure, Walmart. I just heard ramen. I thought you were making some handmade ramen. No, yeah,
No,
Walmart.
that is that. Okay, okay. Well, I'm glad you could. That's the one that I was like, you are so wrong. Chicken on a stick is classic tailgate. Sushi, depending on where you, if you buy the sushi in Walmart, that is technically Walmart sushi. That's Walmart parking lot sushi. But sushi overall is going to be clearly corporate, but where you sourced it from matters. Then we did dumplings. Now there's a lot of types of dumplings, but the dumplings I think of for me, you could do it at classic tailgate. But I could also understand why you would say dumplings are corporate. The biggest and the most truly blasphemous thing you said was Rangoons being Walmart. The
I said
quintess,
Walmart because I knew it was going to be on the list.
the
And I said Walmart
quintessential, the
because you still
quintessential.
haven't shown me how you're going to do this at the tailgate. We've been doing this for a while now. We've been doing this for months, and I ain't got a recipe to do it myself. I ain't got
I sent you
nothing.
the recipe. You're lying. I sent you the recipe.
I don't think I ever got a recipe.
So listen, it falls under. First of all, you can clearly make it at a tailgate. If you can make corn dogs at a tailgate, you can make this at a tailgate. If you can boil French fries if you can fry French fries at a tailgate, you can fry this at a tailgate.
Now, here's what I want you to do. And if I wasn't mad about it, I probably would say it could be classic, but I'm going to stick to Walmart because I think this is crazy talk. I want you to go back through this list and I want you to think about all this stuff that you said. And then remember the number one rule about tailgate food.
What's the number one rule? Yep. Oh, I kept that rule in mind, Devin.
Okay, so go run back through the list and you tell me what you had.
All right. Pad Thai. Clearly,
Corporate,
that's, you got to sit down and eat that. I love Pad Thai. Egg rolls.
classic.
Fried rice. Here's why I will say I could give it fried rice to classic. You put fried rice in a cup. That's doable.
No, just no.
It is
That's too much
100%
work.
doable. You're not trying hard enough. Spam masubi is a rice with spam wrapped in seaweed. You hold it in a hand and you eat it.
Yeah, and I get that, but I'm not doing sticky rice and then wrapping it and then no.
Okay. Then we had, hold on, list again. We had orange chicken. I concur. Cup of ramen. We agreed on. Chicken on a stick. Okay, clearly chicken on a stick. That is classic tailgate. Then we went sushi, which again, depending on where you source it from, but you could eat sushi.
You
Dumplings.
can eat sushi, sure. Here's the number one thing with doing sushi is when I think sushi, I'm thinking raw fish.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I was
I'm thinking
thinking
raw fish,
the only
and the classic
reason
tailgate is not going to have the facilities for raw
you
fish.
want to know where this came from, I'll be honest with you. I was eating dinner because my partner, my lovely lady, is on a friend's date with her girl best friend, and I didn't have dinner made, so I bought Wednesday HEB $7 sushi. And I was like, damn, what is our tailgate tier list gonna be? And I was eating the sushi and I was like, I'll put
Have you
sushi.
gotten? I don't know anything about HEB, but have you? Does your HEB have the hot fried Asian items yet? The Asian grill
Yes.
yet?
I
It's pretty good.
very rarely get them because they're super high in sodium and super high in carbs. So is the sushi though, but I feel
Yeah, the
better.
sushi's bad. The sushi definitely isn't bad as like the lo mein and stuff. But
Yeah,
if I'm having to do a quick meal at work, I smash that thing.
yeah, they're great. I can't say that I have had them once or twice, but very rarely do I eat them. Then the next one was dumplings, which I can see the problem. Here's the problem, Devin, is I realize this about you is you're not as willing to get down and dirty as I am.
Thing about tailgating, Peyton, is you can't be sitting there like, yeah, you can cook the entire tailgate. That's fine. But it can't be like the super involved process where all you do at the tailgate is cook.
You
You
know?
still got to enjoy yourself.
Oh yeah. I can whip up a batch of 100 goons and the first part be
First
good.
of all, you can't call them goons.
100 goons.
Peyton in the back of the tailgate. I've been gooning for hours, brother.
Yeah, I might be the goon king.
I've been gooning all day over here. Look at all these goons I got. No, can't do
Look,
that.
I can whip up 100 goons. Dumplings are very similar, but I don't like dumplings as much. But here's what you don't understand, and I think you lack the capacity to understand this. Drink in one hand, right? Fistful of goons in the other hand, just popping them in. You,
Again, I'm not saying they don't meet the criteria. I'm saying I'm voting Walmart because it's you trying to push this propaganda right now.
it's not propaganda. It is. I want you to know in 10 years when there's goon stations at every tailgate, you're gonna know where it came from.
Oh man.
You're gonna have people all over. There's gonna be gooners all over. There's gonna be gooners everywhere for the tailgates. Just straight up gooning.
Hey man, did you hear that State's gonna be in town for the game this week? Oh, you guys gonna do a tail goon? Hell yeah, brother.
In fact, tailgoon.
All right, make the banner. We'll put it up, and you can do host the first tail goon and
I'm
see how many
making a
people you
tailgoon
get.
hat. I'm making a tailgoon hat.
The tail goon hat. Well,
Okay, that's everything. That was our tailgate tier list. We covered the NFL, covered everything. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. I think
this
that's
conversation crashed so hard. It's wild.
this is what happens when we don't have enough football to talk about.
I know. Off season is gonna be rough for us. We're gonna have to
It
talk about March Madness.
no, no, no. Luckily, we will be able to talk about the UFL in 2.5 months. We will definitely talk about March Madness. Mainly about the big point about March Madness will be that, oh, I forgot that that was happening today. I didn't watch. Um, what I'll probably do is start bringing up some cool historical facts because the only thing I really care about is football and history. Um, and I might even bring up fake historical facts like from books that I've read that aren't real, like Game of Thrones. Like, did you know in the year 8237 in the first false spring that, yeah, something like that. I might just start throwing things in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to be delving into some football content, looking for more football content to watch. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, this has been episode, first of all, shout out to us, Devin, episode 23. Um, but yeah, thank you guys for tuning in to Tailgate Sports Media Podcast, episode 23. Please do all the things that you're supposed to do, the subscribes and the likes and the goon, all that, do all those things, not to us or for us, but hey, and also now that we have time and I can review this, if you are watching this at this point, please let us know your favorite tailgate recipe. Send it to us now so that way we have time to test this out. And maybe that's another thing we'll do is we'll get more into the tailgate side of things as opposed to just talking about sports. We'll be able to talk more.
Well, I'm gonna start doing some short videos and testing people's tailgate recipes and giving them a rating. Like, hey, let you know, buddy, this is great. I'll be making this. Or, hey, man, Walmart parking lot is open for you, and letting them know.
Yeah, this is a classic tailgate recipe. This is a Walmart parking lot recipe. This is a corporate picnic recipe. We'll definitely do that. So, that being said, I'm Peyton. That's Devin. This has been Tailgate Sports Media Podcast, episode 23. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.